What's up, everyone? It's Matt again here from Mexico City. It is our first sunny day. What beautiful weather. I want to talk to you a bit about a recent class we had regarding family business, but more specifically, employee engagement in the context of family business. And I would say of all the questions that I get, employee engagement is probably one of the top 2 or 3. You need to follow a couple of really basic steps. Employee engagement does not have to be complicated, it does not have to be difficult. And where I start with employee engagement is quite simple. First, you need to get the feedback from colleagues. Whether that's an employee survey, whether that's town hall meetings, you need to solicit that feedback. I do prefer employee engagement surveys because of the confidentiality element attached to those. And then from there, once you have that feedback, you need to synthesize the information, draw any correlations and any trends that you have. But more importantly, I think a piece that a lot of professionals miss in this space, both in HR but also in other segments, is that you need to contextualize that data with feedback from the colleagues themselves. So macro information is really important, and it certainly does provide some value, but you have to be careful you're not making assumptions around macro data using your own particular biases. So what I like to do is get the feedback and then meet with colleagues in smaller town hall meetings to assess their feedback and see, this is what we think you're saying, can you please validate that for us? So that when we build action plans, we actually solve the problems that they're identifying and don't just fix the things that we think that they're trying to solve for. One of the things with engagement is if you ask for feedback and either don't solve the problem or solve the wrong problems, it's one of the fastest ways to disengage your colleagues. Now, once you have that feedback contextualized, the next plan is to build your actual action plans that you need to solve in terms of the employee feedback. And I think sometimes we get caught up in trying to create really elaborate action plans that frankly, in most organizations are not achievable due to lack of resources or lack of time. So I focus our action plans at YISC really on simple actions. Employees have told us time and time again that what matters to them really are the friendships they have at work and make sure they have the tools to do their jobs. So we go back to basics and make sure, do they actually have these tools to do their jobs effectively, and can they contribute in their roles and feel successful in doing so? That's one of the key things I think I would share with you in terms of employee engagement. And finally, what I would share in terms of that is you have to communicate, and communicate. Really, engagement comes down to 4 steps. The first one is gathering your feedback, and you can do that through the collection of macro information through employee surveys. The second is contextualizing the feedback and making sure that you have the answers that you need relative to the product and making sure that you get it right. You have to make sure that what you're developing in terms of action plans is actually what the employees are trying to tell you in terms of opportunities in the organization. Third, you need to develop really clear and actionable action plans that are time-based, time-bound, and have clear accountabilities. And 4, you need to make sure you communicate at all stages throughout the process, whether it be when you collect that data or when you develop your action plans, and most importantly, when you're taking action against those action plans. If you do those things well, you will have an engaged workforce in no time.